Hello and welcome to the podcast, episode 9 of The Secret Chat, live from the Proximity Apartments. Thank you, Alex, for hosting us today. I'm Philip, the favorite host. We're also joined by Matt.
The second favorite, hello.
Almer's also here. And then
The 0th favorite?
Yes.
And your favorite guest star, Alex.
Yes. Thank you for, we have Alex here today. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
But nice to have you on the podcast, Alex.
Yes.
Long time coming.
Long time coming. You know, we had some obstacles in the past, but you know, it's safe to say it's safe to say we have overcome those obstacles slowly but surely. You know, we're here again, episode 9, The Secret Chat with Alex Urban.
A few days late, but we finally made it to
all of our
Sunday.
very committed listeners. Sorry it was a few days late. Some technical difficulties.
Hopefully we will be on time on Wednesday.
But if the audio seems a little different, it's because we are all in person today, not over a Discord call. So Alex, you have a few topics that you wanted to bring to the table.
One that is going to lead into segue into the other, hopefully. But when you guys asked me to come on the show, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was obviously movies. I know Amr is a huge movie fan.
I am.
I am also a movie fan.
Phil, big movie fan.
Yes, all movie
Maybe
fans.
the biggest that ever existed in the world. But anyway, I got to thinking about like emotion in movies, and I just don't mean like sadness, like what makes you want to cry. Obviously, that's a big part of a lot of movies. But I meant like comedy, anger, and how that's displayed in movies, and how like cross-culturally, like, you know, it's kind of translated. Like all they have to do is put different words, and the languages are tweaked a little bit. But I just wanted to get like your opinions on what emotion means in movies to y'all, and like what are the best movies, and how is emotion expressed in the best of movies. So like
So I think the best movies rely on characters to kind of bring out emotion, because you relate to the character, right? And you feel the same emotions the character does at the same moment. So like, for example, Game of Thrones. So you have you know, it's unfortunate how the show turned out, but they really had good character building. They fucked it up so bad. They fucked it up
So sad.
But you know, like for example, Jon Snow, right? Beginning of the show, he's an outcast. He's you know, he's set to the wall, and
Literally, his last name
is Bastard.
That's his whole person. Is Bastard.
Yeah, so
Everyone makes him out.
you really feel for him.
You really feel for him.
Before they even give him a chance, they know who he is.
I think everybody at some point in their life has felt like somewhat of an outcast, you know, in something, you know. So I think everybody can kind of relate to Jon Snow in that sense. And you know, when he goes through his struggles, when he shows that he's determined to reach a goal, he uses everything he has to reach that goal. And even when he fails to reach that goal, he continues to reach that goal. He continues to strive for that goal. And you feel that, you know, you feel kind of the empathy for the character. You feel bad for the character. He worked so hard. He got stabbed in the chest, literally in the heart.
literally died.
He literally died.
Came back.
And so yeah, you just feel that. And I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what you meant, but
what I'm hearing is like you empathize with the character's journey more than like the emotional scenes. Like, so when you go into a movie or a television show or whatever it is, you want to see that progress. Like, not necessarily like Jon Snow started out a bastard. He ends up being the king and above the wall, whatever. Bran's king of
Targaryen.
Everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, you want to see that progress, and like for me, like I'm a huge fan of progress as well. But what really gets me are those like super like down to earth, like very close knit, close quarter type of scenes. So like, have you guys seen Coco? Coco.
But I heard there's a scene.
I've heard.
Oh my god! So like,
very emotional.
if you know me, I love my family, like whatever. And there's a scene in Coco where like the old grandma who has dementia is like, you know, sitting in a room with Coco, and Coco starts singing this song that's like, it's Remember Me, whatever, dementia, remember me, Dude, it's a
Alex,
super tactile.
Man,
scene.
you didn't
Does
even
she
have to.
does she remember?
She does. She remembers, and that's
I
like
have not seen the movie.
Alex,
so
you don't
I
even
had to
like. I
ask.
haven't even seen the movie, but I can already tell that scene is gripping.
I mean, it resonates.
Yeah,
It's
and
a resonating scene.
Also, it's like an animated movie, and like
Yeah.
them like
Not
portraying
expecting
that.
it,
Yeah.
You do a lot
Not
of it,
expecting
though.
it.
Oh my god, dude. And I feel like that's another thing too. In animation, I feel like you can do so much more than in a live action.
Yeah.
I feel like it can be
A lot more freedom.
Yeah, a lot more expressive. A lot of other things.
Well,
like
they
that.
did have that movie that was basically with Leslie Knope. She directed it, right? You know which one I'm talking
Which one?
about?
Which one?
Is it like a mix?
It's a.
I'll come back to it if I think of it. But
Wait, did you say Leslie Knope?
Leslie Knope.
Leslie,
That-
that's
the Parks and Rec
the
fictional
lady
character.
who did
Yeah,
it.
okay, yeah,
she
the
who
character.
plays her. She directed it.
Yeah.
Amy
Inside Out. It's
Poehler?
called Inside Out. Inside Out. That
Amy
movie's-
Poehler, was that?
Oh,
Yeah.
she directed that? No
Well, she
way.
was involved with it. I think
I
she
did not know
directed
she
it,
did
or she
that.
was involved with it.
He should
But
have
that
been a writer
movie-
or something.
Yeah, that movie was all about
The
emotions.
movie was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but like Jamie Foxx is doing that new Soul, I think it's called. I think it follows a jazz singer in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
But that's looks like it's gonna be super good too. But I don't know. It's just
You know,
it's-
the Marvel movies are really good for me at,
No!
at evoking
Marvel,
emotion, though.
Jesus.
But
That's
like,
true.
seriously though,
Yeah,
like,
they have their
seriously
moments.
though, like
Yeah,
if you look
I-
at the finales, like
With Tony Stark.
it's insane. I mean,
Yeah, that's a-
you
that's
get the
a-
entire theater moving.
that's an 18. Yeah, I mean he's right.
It's a
as
great
far as
example.
like 18 movie character arc ends up with that.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say it was definitely emotional, even more emotional, being able to see Infinity War
Mhm.
Oh my god.
at the beach with like everybody
Oh,
that
yeah,
went.
It was,
Yeah.
There's like
That
what,
is a
like
moment
12
I'll
of us
forget.
that went.
Yeah, for people who don't know, we were a very close knit group of friends, and we loved the Marvel movies growing up. And Infinity War, like leading up to that, we got like what 20 guys,
Yeah.
20 of our closest friends to go to a movie theater and go watch it together.
all
which
it,
was
we all went. We're all in a different town too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
after prom.
right
and
after
stuff.
prom.
It was such a cool experience.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of plays into it too, like movies and the emotions you feel and the connections you have with like characters and like the whole arc. It goes into like your friendships and it's something to talk about.
Yeah, and then like a year later, like I didn't even. I'm sure like all of us didn't even get to see like Endgame like with our usual movie crowd. Like I saw Endgame alone
yeah.
for the first time. and-
Oh, with Alex.
Yeah, you saw it.
I didn't see it after y'all had already.
But I mean,
seen
like it would have been a better experience with more people.
Oh, yeah.
But we had a great time. I mean,
Yeah.
just sitting in the theater, you know, he catches the hammer and go crazy,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, it started out it was weird because we had reserved seats, and then something happened where Amr had to go and find. Amr had to go and find another. Like he had to bargain for a seat or whatever. So it was the leading up to that, but it was so worth it. No. But yeah.
Yeah, the guy was a nice dude. He gave up his seat, switched seats with me. He went to go see it alone. So I was like, okay.
And then he sucked him off after.
Ah,
Bummer. That's
but-
a
Alright.
that's a
Never
story
told
I
us
haven't
that.
heard.
That's
Yeah.
sweet ending.
We'll save it for another podcast.
He was dressed up
podcast.
as Captain America. So.
But I know we talked a lot about how we can connect with characters with our emotions, but there are also movies out there that are all about emotion. Like there was this one movie, I forgot the name of it, but it's about depression, and the whole movie is this big metaphor of depression. It's about this girl who's getting married, but as the wedding comes, the sun is slowly going to destroy the earth, and that's kind of her feeling of
Whoa.
how
What movie is this?
I forgot the name of it, but it's got the girl who played in the original Spider-Man series.
What's her
The
name?
girl, his girlfriend,
The
Tobey
redhead.
Yeah, it has her. in it.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
redhead.
Yeah, sexy redhead.
Upside
That's her
down
in it.
Spider-Man kiss.
So yeah, then not only is there movies that you can connect with the characters and your emotions, but there are also movies that are a big metaphor for it.
Is the movie Melancholia?
Melancholia, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
I've heard of that before.
I
I've
have
never watched
not
it.
seen that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Joker was also pretty good at portraying depression and kind of feelings of societal rejection. You know, I think that was also a good movie in that sense.
Dude, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have not seen Joker yet. I have not seen Joker yet.
What?
I just haven't seen it. I
Never got time to.
never.
You really need to
Literally,
watch
it's on HBO right now.
I know.
so-
I know. I never saw it
I heard
because.
it.
Well, I heard about the bathtub scene with the mom, and I was like,
that was so fucked, dude.
That's
I
so-
didn't know. I just was not in a place where I could watch that and be okay after seeing it. So I was like, maybe not.
She said,
But I will see it, of
Don't
course.
you have to be funny to be a comedian? It's just like.
Major spoilers. Major spoilers on the Secret Chat podcast.
If you're listening
Well, I
to
mean,
this,
If your own mom
you're
tells
talking
you
about
that-
major spoilers of a movie that came out in October.
Okay, don't come from my net like that.
And the thing is that really hits hard about that is that it's his mother. It's not like his friend or
Yeah.
his buddy. You know, it's his mother, the person that's always supposed to be, you know, quote unquote supportive. And she has mental issues and stuff, so she's not really there 100%.
Then she drowns him in a bathtub. Or he drowns her in a bathtub. Does it?
Nah,
Okay.
you
I
misheard.
haven't- I
You
haven't seen the
misheard.
movie.
Yeah.
She does suffocate. Let's keep it at that.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh God. Okay, but
Moving on.
This is gonna be a very hard transition talking about the Joker into Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oof.
Oh, I got another emotional movie. La La Land.
La La Land.
Oh, bro.
My
Beautiful
favorite
movie.
movie.
That movie fucking hurts my soul. Jesus Christ.
Dude, the scene where Emma Stone is like at the audition at the end, she like it's just I don't know what it is.
What hits hard is when she shows up to his club with her new man, and she sees him playing the piano at the
It's
stage.
just it, like, and the thing is, the music really helps too.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like
The
a
sound-
good story.
The
but
soundtrack is unmatched.
And
It's
listening
unbelievably
to that music after the movie,
Dude,
and then get reminded.
I could
Yeah.
listen. I could listen to
I,
it. And
I
feel
still
the
listen to
same
the
thing.
soundtrack like all the time. Like
It's-
I have songs on the soundtrack
I'm
that are in a
amazed.
playlist that I listen
Yeah,
to.
he tried to play.
I
the,
tried. It's the only song that I ever learned how to play on the piano.
Yeah.
Was La La-
literally
the
for
La
for
La
like
Land.
I don't know, like a couple months, 3 or 4
Yeah,
months.
I tried.
We'd go in, or he would go in. I would come with him sometimes, but he'd be we had like the music room in our dorm, and they had a piano, and he would go in there and try to play La La Land. I don't know which one
Is it
exactly.
City of
City of
Stars or
Stars,
something
yeah.
like that? Yeah, City of Stars.
But the maintenance lady, she would always walk by when I was playing, and like she started like when I started out, it was like you know,
all clunky.
and then by the end of it, she was like, "You got pretty good." I was like, "Yeah, I try my best." But no, it was just a
Soft story.
It's a soft story. But
It's
like,
not for everybody, but it is a good movie.
It's a oh my
I was
gosh.
about to say, I think everybody should watch that movie.
I do think everybody should watch it, but I don't think everybody
What
would
stole the
enjoy it.
Oscar that year?
Moonlight.
I don't think that was deserved.
Really?
I think La La Land was. I've seen both of them. I mean, Moonlight.
La La Land won a lot of awards.
Yeah, Moonlight was good in like a. If you're talking about kind of cinematic, I don't know, like scholarly type thing.
It
Okay.
won 6 Oscars.
Moonlight did?
No, La La
Jesus
Land.
Christ.
That's a
Okay.
lot of Oscars.
But no, I mean Moonlight was
No,
good,
no,
but
it's
I think La La Land was it was a bit more entertaining.
I always, and this kind of changes topics a little bit, but I always feel like the liberal elite of Hollywood always kind of like, they try to make up for stuff. Like they're predominantly white and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And I'm not saying that Moonlight didn't deserve the Oscar. I haven't seen it, and everyone tells me it's a really good movie.
It's good.
But I feel like they were trying. They had the blackout at the Oscars the year before.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to make amends, and I mean, I don't know.
I think I think there should be more freedom in the sense of what you portray in your movies and how you portray them. Like, I mean, I could see why the you know, they want to include more people of color, diversity, etc.
Yeah, of course, because they need it.
They need it, but
you
this should
shouldn't
not
feel
be.
like you have to.
Yeah, this should not be at a sacrifice. Like, for example, the
You shouldn't
Oscars
have
this
to
year.
cater to anyone.
No,
Yeah,
no.
the Oscars this year have put in a diversity requirement for
Which-
the Academy for I mean in general overarching.
Requirements I think is too far.
I think it's too far, but I mean they do need representation.
Yeah,
they do
of
need their
course.
own.
the way to do that is to support black filmmakers and black writers, black filmmakers.
Right.
Get behind that. Get behind that type of movement, or else it's just going to be.
sure.
It's just going to be white people giving more handouts again. That's not what Hollywood needs.
Similar to how Star Wars has kind of been screwed up by that kind of idea. I think Rey is not a really. I think Kylo Ren was a better character than Rey.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And that's really only because they only really made Rey in the movie. I mean, she's only really a woman. I mean, she doesn't really have any other. She's like a Mary Sue, I guess, if you want to call it. She is just like Captain Marvel. You know, you're supposed to care because she's a woman. And I mean, the character's all right, but it should not be centered around the fact that she's a woman. You know, she should be a good character who's also a woman.
I mean, Princess Leia, great character.
Phenomenal character.
And no one cared if she was a woman.
And that was a long time ago.
Going off that, the Avatar: The Last Airbender is like classically known for the strong female writing.
Right.
It's like instead of like making these characters who have to apologize for their issues, or make these female characters have to apologize for being female. They are unapologetically female, and then the other characters have to interact in that world around them that way. Do you kind of see what I'm saying?
It should never be just totally focused on it. Like,
I mean, there's strong character building. I mean, and if you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's
on Netflix.
It's
so.
phenomenal.
I haven't seen it since I was like
little.
little.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I saw when I was little, and then I rewatched it a couple of years ago, but I need to rewatch it again.
I literally fell in love.
It's such a cool universe. It's amazing.
The world is
and especially with Zuko and his Uncle Iroh. Yeah, such great characters.
You have a great redemption arc. You have this master teacher. He's honestly, to me, no offense, Matt, a better Yoda. Like, you know what I mean?
He's cool.
That's the opinion. I mean,
I know how much you love Star Wars, but it's like.
Anyways, so what I was gonna bring up was Spike Lee. His movies.
Black Klansman. I think everybody should watch that movie. Honestly, it's very.
His movies didn't need like that push, like
he already deals with racial issues.
Yeah, that's what most of his movies are about, and I mean,
I think
they already get recognition because they're just downright good.
Yeah, the cinematography is insane. I mean,
the stories are great. I mean,
I took a film class 2 semesters ago, and we had one of the assignments was Black Klansman, and you had to analyze the cinematography and the way he does stuff. And he really uses color, as in faces, and white faces, black faces, red, white, and blue. Mm-hmm. He puts them all in his movies, and very symbolic. It represents like he'll like juxtapose. He'll put the American flag next to something that's kind of racist and not acceptable, kind of symbolizing what that means.
He's one of the filmmakers, I think, that does. Actually, he's probably one of the only filmmakers that I've seen that does an excellent job of portraying how systemic racism is in the United States. Mm-hmm. He doesn't try to make it a one-off issue. He wants his audience to feel and know that how embedded into society it really is. And I mean, all of his movies are fucking awesome.
I'm ready to see The Five Bloods and see that came out on Netflix Friday.
Really?
Yeah, they changed it from a theatrical release to the Netflix, I think. Yeah, Spike Lee came out Friday.
Theaters coming back, man.
Theaters probably end of June, mid-July.
Yeah, July.
I'm excited, man.
Did you see Dave Chappelle's tweet? He did like a 30-minute little special about. Oh, he's brilliant though.
I saw like the response for it, but I haven't had the chance to watch it yet.
He is what I consider to be a modern day Mark Twain. In that
Dave Chappelle is a master comedian.
He is a genius.
He's one of those. I know he's one of those comedians that just speaks on the truth, but can satirizes it to just make
it's
it
actually
so
absurd.
beautiful.
I was watching a podcast with Kevin Hart, Joe Rogan, Kevin Hart, and he was talking about Dave Chappelle and kind of how he he really revolutionized comedy and black comedy as well. So he would go up there and talk about stuff, and he didn't care. He would talk about whatever he wanted, however he wanted, and it was tasteful and it was great. All the other comedians were sitting back like, is this okay to say? Is this okay? Dave Chappelle goes out and does it. They're like, okay, it's fine. We can do it. Yeah. He's like basically
really
the king. Yeah, he's king of comedy.
And he caught a lot of flack for his comments about transgender relations because, I mean, Dave Chappelle is not going to hold back on what he thinks, but he made a lot of controversial statements about the transgender community. And I can't remember what special was on. He was either on the Sticks and Stones or the Bird Revelation or Bird Equanimity or whatever it was called. And the New York Times had made a post about how he was normalizing racial strife. Like he was normalizing all of this violence between races and stuff like that. But he was also called out for victimizing and attacking the transgender community. Well, at the same time that happened, he did a show in San Francisco where a young transgender woman, I can't remember her name right now, but she came in and she talked to him and vocally supported his jokes towards or for or against transgenders because she said, aren't you normalizing that as well? You know what I mean? Like although his jokes are sometimes come off as controversial and not politically correct, I feel like he normalizes it. He gives people who don't understand that perspective. And I think a lot of America doesn't understand. I think that's where a lot of our strife comes from. I think that he gives a perspective that allows people to start to think and start to, kind of move forward.
Using a side of an issue that maybe they never really thought about. Yeah.
Also, like, I feel like he kind of, I don't think that transgender people really want to be seen as, quote unquote victims. Yeah. They want to be seen as normal people with normal desires, with normal feelings, whatever. They just want to be in society, even though they are transgender. Yeah. And whether you agree with that or not, I mean, that's a pretty good, pretty normal kind of desire. I mean, you want to fit in, you want to be in society. And if that's what it takes for you to fit in, then, do what you want. It's your life, it's your freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love Dave Chappelle, love modern day Mark Twain. I mean, he's modern day Mark Twain. But
so you were at a protest the other day for
I was
for Black Lives Matter in Greenville.
Would you like to tell us about that?
What did you think about that?
What I'd like to tell you about it? Yeah, sure. I attended a protest in Greenville, North Carolina for Black Lives Matter. It was organized by a local chapter. They're having ongoing events right now. They're going to the community leaders. They're going to city council meetings, county commissioner meetings, and they're getting people to sign petitions and call for action from local officials to kind of support community functions in the black community. But at the protest, it was a peaceful protest that turned violent. It started off in front of the police headquarters here in Greenville, and it moved towards the downtown area, towards the town commons. But as we were in front of the courthouse, there were like 3 or 4 people who were looking for blood. Like it was very clear that the community organizers were like, we want this to be peaceful. We want you to get your voices heard, but we don't want to do anything violent. And as it progressed, it got harder and harder to hold back the people who wanted to, like, that pain and that rage. Yeah. And once we passed Sub Dogs, if you haven't seen the video, there's a video of people jumping on tables and throwing shit at Sub Dogs. And that is kind of where it went off the wall. After that, they tried to flip a car. They beat up a cop car. So it turned violent. But I mean, honestly, I've been talking about it to a lot of people, and this is a very controversial statement. But the violence and the rioting and the protesting, I know it's it doesn't seem constructive. And I was talking to Amr about this the other day, but if we can make it through this out of like as a people and as a country, dude, we're gonna be so much better off.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, 2020 may not be the year we wanted, but it may have been the year we needed.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything they could have done to stop the destructiveness at the protest?
Nah.
No.
And from being
Do
completely,
you think people went in there with that mindset?
they definitely went in with the mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame that like there's just that like small group
People.
that wants that, because like literally like that's the problem in every city.
Yeah.
You have a
The
few
media
people that are
the
looking
media
to
does focus
And
on
it's
that.
so unfortunate though, because we have people, we have friends, we have family, we have people all over that see these riots, and of course they're not good. They're destructive to the communities, but that doesn't discount the overall cause of the movement. That doesn't that doesn't mean you could just say Black Lives Matter is is whatever you want to call it. I mean, Donald Trump called the anti-fascists terrorists, which is that's doesn't make any sense really. It's absurd that
you can't let a few
You can't let a few people define the movement.
a whole great
and
movement.
this is the difference with
Thank
the
you.
police. I mean, the police have a department. They have officers, and their jobs to protect and serve and to defend the law, right?
Yeah.
So when you have cops that are going out there and killing people and brutalizing people for no reason, really, it's kind of. I mean, they're supposed to stop them. They're police. That's their job.
Yeah, I mean,
So
just
when you have 5 bad cops and you have 900 other cops, 995 other cops, and you have 1,000 bad cops, really. And of course, I'm not advocating that they should be.
It was their duty
attacked
to stop the other.
Yeah, it's their
cops
duty.
as
It's
cops.
their duty as citizens of the
To
United
speak
States
up.
to stop this, oppression and looting and whatever you want to call it.
It's just, I think the whole. I think we've reached a point where everyone is going to be polarized on the issue, whether or not you are involved with it, one way or the other.
It's so dangerous for America.
It's a very low line to trip over, and once you trip over it, you're with all the others.
And I really think that the core problem is our education system, and the ignorance in our country is really devastating.
Literally, like the whole world is
media.
upset with us right now.
Yeah. Literally, man. Like
the way the media can portray it as well, it very messes
and
it
that's actually, that reminds me of another point that Dave Chappelle mentioned, was that why are we wanting these celebrities to come out and speak to us and talk to us? Why did people want Dave Chappelle to come out and say some shit about Black Lives Matter? Because if he said this, if you listen to his shit, he's been saying this for years. Like, it's not a new thing for him. But the reason that we want him to say it, or people are calling for him to say it, is because we trust him. We trust that motherfucker. We don't trust our institutions. We don't trust the media, our institutions, this and that. And that's that one thing that I thought about when you guys asked me to come on, was I wanted to be lively and fun, bring a fun topic to the table or whatever. But I feel like anything that's going on in the void right now, like the internet or anything that has to do with entertainment at all, is going to be pertaining to this issue, whether or not we like it. You know what I mean?
Kevin Hart touched that topic on the Joe Rogan podcast as well, talking about you can't have. He's trying to advocate for what was I gonna say? For the black communities to be taught how to manage money and do better, and he's partnering with I think Chase Banks, and he's you can't have a bunch of white dudes dressed up in suits going to talk to lower income families about financial advising.
Right, they're not going to listen. It's not going to get to them. It's going to go one ear out the other.
And that was
it's
one
very
thing.
patronizing too.
Yeah, it is.
And that's one thing Kevin Hart was I'm not doing this unless we do it the right way. And
and it's the right way that can look so many different ways as well. But I think the one thing that it has to have is it has to come from within the black community. It's time for people to start listening instead of telling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when people say that, I've heard some conservatives say, black people are the biggest killers of other blacks, and blacks commit the most crimes. You know, all these statements against African Americans, and they don't realize that there's more to it than
Just-
race. I mean,
yeah,
that's so ignorant. You know, you have these communities that not too long ago were segregated, and not too long ago before that were enslaved.
Yeah.
So you're comparing your family, your white family, your family that's been free the whole time, that's had opportunities the whole time, that has built a household with, you may have a business, you may have a decent job, whatever it may be, and then you're comparing it to people that recently got civil rights, recently got, I wouldn't say recently, but were enslaved in the past. They have worse schools. They live in worse places, higher crime rates because people are not educated. So they don't get good jobs. They have to go and resort to crime for money, for food, whatever it may be. And a lot of these people think that there's no other way to really sustain yourself without committing these actions.
That's what I was thinking. It was like, I don't know if this is true for everything, but it seems like growing up, if your family is very normalized as stealing and robbing, that kind of thing, it may seem normal, so you may grow up and do that and teach your kids that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of other socioeconomic stuff that goes into that. I mean, but actually, there's another good film to watch on Netflix. It's 13th by Ava DuVernay, who did Wrinkle in Time. She was the director of Wrinkle in Time, but it basically synopsis. It goes to show how in the 13th Amendment there's a loophole that allows for the coercion of people, it basically ties into how the mass incarceration of the African American community is a modern form of slavery. That is the big picture of it. But it goes into, obviously it isn't, well, I don't know, I'm not the one to say that, but it's a very good film, and it's really good.
You know, Kanye West, a lot of people have criticized him for this, but really what he meant, he clarified this. He said that he wants to abolish the 13th Amendment. And, the 13th Amendment mainly is to prevent slavery, right? But it has like you said, it has like a clause at the end. It's like, except if they're in prison, essentially.
Coercion of prisoners.
And it's just, I think that's terrible. I mean, for our country, like, this is not freedom.
Yeah.
They could throw you in jail. I mean, I've seen multiple cases where a black man and a white man who have committed the same crime on the same day with the same circumstances, as in no prior charges, get different sentences. I mean, the white guy got like 3 years or 3 months, and the black guy got like 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, being someone who has worked in like a courtroom, like, dude, it's so systemic racism. Our society won't be fixed until we fix racism in our society. Because a jury of your peers, like, we would ask these racially charged questions, and they don't seem racially charged like when you look at them on the surface, but like when you delve deeper into them, like they are, like, we're asking them if you would convict a black man to serve a crime, or would you not? And it can be used, but the race card, like pulling the race card when you're selecting a jury, I mean, it's a useful tool, and the only reason it's useful is because of racism in our society. Yeah. So it's kind of, it has to be, we got some shit to figure out.
I mean, that's the shitty part about it, is that it's not gonna happen overnight, like everyone's saying, but you don't even know when it's gonna happen. Exactly. Like, we have, like, the systemic racism is so deep, like, we might have to wait till some people kick like, the bucket.
Exactly. I mean, our society, our all of our institutions, they're built by racists. I mean, you could tell, it's very obvious. And it's like people are like, they say, why should we give these black people money? They're stealing, they're killing, etc., whatever you want to say. But they don't understand that, there's a cause for that. They're not just more prone to do that because they're black. I mean, that's absurd. And we have to go to the core, go to the beginning of the problem, and really tackle it at its source to solve racism. Because I don't think most people, in terms of socially speaking, are racist, as in they would actively discriminate against the black person or an Asian person. I don't think people are like that, at least not anymore. But there are systems in place that cause this racism to happen without you even noticing it, without you even seeing it.
I think the others, a lot of points that people on the other side use is, like, yeah, they're lazy, they're not going to do anything, so they don't deserve this money, or they don't deserve these free handouts, quote unquote. But that doesn't go for all of them. That doesn't go for all the other people that actually do need it, and it does help.
So people say, oh yeah, we should abolish welfare. They should just pull themselves up.
Yeah, well, there are always going to be lazy people. There are always going to be shitty people, but that doesn't mean everyone's shitty or lazy.
It's a lot of stuff to figure out.
Yeah.
But like I said, if we make it through, we'll be so much better.
Yeah, we'll better be better at this.
Definitely a bright future.
Oh yeah, a future where Matt is a male model.
Great to see you.
Hey, so.
I say we should talk about Matt's.
Yeah, we can move on to a little bit of
So this week, Mr. Houston, Matt.
Houston.
Yes.
He got a job at UBE. What is it? It's called University Book Exchange, right?
Yeah, University Book Exchange. Shout out UBE.
Please
See you
sponsor
tomorrow.
us. Please sponsor us.
And Matt, could you describe your experience with the?
Actually, I have one question.
Let's go ahead. What's your question?
When can we expect the OnlyFans?
Yeah.
OnlyFans?
When is the OnlyFans?
What are you gonna be
coming?
I mean, I can have like a pre-sign-up sheet. Like before I like get this started, I need to know that I have some people that are wanting to subscribe to my OnlyFans.
I'll subscribe.
You have
Like,
a Patreon for your HD webcam. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I don't want to be wasting my time here. So if you want an OnlyFans from me, you gotta let me know.
Okay. You hear that? You
Where's
hear
the
that,
sheet?
everyone?
Let me sign up right now.
Yeah.
And if you would like OnlyFans for Matt, please drop a comment.
Comment.
Yeah, but Matt went into the job. He stepped onto the site, and they were like, "Hey, Matt, you're pretty cute. You know, we want to take a picture of you."
Sexy man.
Put you in
Sexy
our
man,
Instagram.
Matt.
If you don't know Matt,
Ron Jeremy.
in the past, he has been complimented on his hands.
Yes.
Very nice hands.
Hands
I'm
and
looking at
hair.
them. I'm looking at
Very
them
nice,
right
very
now.
Beautiful hair.
Nice hair. The other day, commented on the nice hair, the nice big smile. He got the job at UBE, and on the first day on the job, they put him in an ECU shirt. This man does not go to ECU.
I
but
do not.
They put him in an ECU shirt, an ECU hat, stuck him outside on campus, and took a photo shoot
I mean,
for about an
you're
hour.
exotic, Matt. I mean,
He's an
what can I
exotic
say?
man.
What can I say?
He's like a snack.
Yeah.
Check me out in the ECU Fall magazine.
Yeah, if you want to check us out on Instagram at the Secret Chat Podcast. I will be posting that picture of Matt.
Yeah.
Very good.
I will be framing that picture of
Yes.
Matt. It will sit in my dorm or my apartment for the next.
I just get
foreseeable
so
future.
much unwarranted attention. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's just kind of funny because like, you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So you know how
A little
stuff
bit.
kind of just like happens to him, and it's just like, what's going on? Like, what is this ridiculous?
That is my
event?
life.
It's literally what
Matt.
happened. Matt walks into the job, and they're like, "Congratulations, you're a model."
Yeah, like literally, like I got trained for about like an hour, and then like I was just working the cash register, and one of the marketing guy came up to me. He was like, "I need you to take some pictures with us in our sister store. We're doing a photo shoot for the fall semester ECU magazine." I was like, okay, I can't say no. Why not? So I had to go literally pick out a shirt from the store, and they gave me a hat and
You're looking
Did
pretty
you get
cute.
to keep it?
nah, I did not. I literally had to rip the tags off, and then when I got done with all the photo shoots, I had to put the tags back on with the tag gun and
Oh my gosh.
everything.
So they're selling used. They're selling used shirts now.
well,
Well,
they washed them.
Oh, okay.
UBE does not sell.
I mean, that would have.
shirts.
That would have.
Yeah, they do not sell used shirts.
Would've been,
We washed them.
That would have been quite a valuable shirt, though. I mean, having touched the skin of Mr. Houston.
That could maybe in a few years that could mean
That could mean a lot.
That could mean a lot.
But no, it's a good job. I'm glad I'm there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, UBE, if you're listening.
Thank you, UBE. I start DoorDashing. I'm gonna be a DoorDash driver.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Alex
that's
showing up with the bag of food.
Please sponsor us.
You're gonna deliver it to me, Alex.
Yeah, man. I actually
I'm not gonna tip you though.
the process for that is actually not as strenuous as I thought it would be.
It's pretty easy, man.
Do you actually
go
even
on and
talk to
sign-
anybody from
I don't
DoorDash?
think so.
Do they have like a headquarters?
just
They
on
said
the
that
app.
they think they're sending me a hat and a
That's
shirt.
so easy. Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take
Hold
to
on.
get back to you?
Pause. Are they playing Bobby Shmurda outside?
Most definitely. Yeah, they are.
The proximity pool party is going off.
It's going off. Come through. Anyone who's listening.
Yeah.
Proximity is quite a nice place to live. You know, you got it's a little bit on the high side rent wise, but I mean, I think it's worth it. Pretty good.
It wasn't that bad.
Montreal's not bad.
He's got a special.
I have a special.
For Alex.
I'd give him the sucky suck.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
When does your maintenance job begin?
My maintenance job begins in.
Oh, you got a job?
Yeah, I did get a job.
Nice.
I'm hitting the ballpark,
The
man.
momentum is.
I need to go see if I can be a male model now.
Yeah.
Hey.
But nah, this is actually a really fun place to live. I've gotten way too drunk the past couple of weeks, but you know, it is what it is.
You're young.
You're having fun.
You'll be okay. You'll recover.
Yeah. You seem fine today.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just going into a cube recovery.
You're slowly kidding yourself.
It's slowly but surely.
It's okay. As long as it's not on the outside, it's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll show in a few years.
Hey.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, man.
But
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
closing remarks? Anyone?
Oh no, we're going about 40 minutes. Do you guys want any more topics? You want to close it out here? Not that long today. I think we got a lot done.
I think it was a pretty solid discussion.
Yeah.
Solid discussion.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
I don't know if you guys like this format better. We were all in person today. It
We
seemed a little more lively, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
I
A
enjoyed
lot
it.
less
I enjoyed it.
distractions.
A lot less distraction. I enjoyed it more today.
Have fun.
Yes.
But thank
You
you,
wanna plug
Alex, for hosting us.
Alright, thanks, Alex.
Alex, wanna plug anything?
No,
want to plug your Tinder or something?
Nah, I don't need that.
He doesn't even need
No,
that.
I'm kidding. Thank you guys for having me.
Cool.
This is a fucking awesome chat. I wanted all the topics I wanted to talk about. You guys have already talked about because we're all kind of nerdy, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but no, it's awesome.
I think we should do it in person from now on more. I like it better.
I would love to come back.
Yeah,
on the
we'd
show.
love
That's
to have you
my-
back
That's
on.
my only plug. That's my only
Cool.
plug.
Well, check us out on Instagram at the Secret Chat Podcast. Donate and rate us on iTunes. Please rate us on iTunes. It helps a lot.
We're on YouTube. We're on every platform basically. Apple Music.
Streaming live on Twitch.
Not
Usually
usually.
on Wednesdays.
Um,
We are Wednesday
We had some,
people.
You know,
We
we
are
had some
Wednesday
difficulties this past week in terms
a lot was
of
going down.
a lot was going down. You know, we had some
It's pretty heavy.
we had some we had some technical difficulties.
Some technical difficulties on there.
All right.
So,
See you next week.
Thanks for listening. Bye bye.